What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass, like and subscribe. So, another day, another story about Sony messing up. I don't know, man. I'm starting to get tired of all these just moves of not caring about your fan base ish. It's like, okay, so the story is the Firefly Edition of The Last of Us Part 1 has been received damaged by people who have bought that version, which is, I believe, to be $100 or more. I don't even know how much it costs, but whatever. It's more than the standard edition, obviously. And so they're coming to the customers damaged, and Sony will not replace these items. They're selling damaged. They're not selling damaged. They're getting whether they're getting damaged in transit or they're packaging damaged goods and distributing them. Regardless, the fact that they won't replace them is another indication that Sony doesn't care about their customers. All they care about is making money. Because if they were to replace all the damaged ones, what would the percentage be? Who knows? But it's still losing money for them. You know what I mean? So, and now there's a secondary market for ones that are undamaged, which I heard were going for 3 times the amount, so $300 for an undamaged Last of Us Part 1 Firefly Edition or whatever it's called. Makes no sense. How can a company so blind? Are they blind? Are they? And here's the thing also, that they've been doing all this generation and some last generation. They do this all the time. They're very quiet. When they have nothing to say, when they're very quiet. There was only one time that they came out and said, okay, we're not going to do that. No, it was 2 times. When they were going to close the stores, the PS3 store or the Vita store, whatever. When they were going to do that, and also when they went back on the Horizon Forbidden West upgrade path. Or whatever that was. And so I'm like, Sony is just, it is so amazing to see Sony and how they're behaving. And it's amazing to see these Donkey Unicorns and these ponies defend and deflect and spin and allow them and say it's okay for a corporation to behave this way. And that's why I say, no, it's not. If this was Microsoft behaving this way, I'm out. Buy Xbox, see you later. I'm a PC dude now. It's that simple. And Sony is making it simple for y'all because they're treating you PlayStation 5 owners and patrons like hot garbage, trash, the purple-headed stepchildren. I don't know. They don't care. And so I'd be like, look, you might as well just save up your little PlayStation bucks, get a PC, and enjoy it there because it's going to be better there anyway. Forget about day one. Forget about all that, because if you go to PC, you're still going to play these awesome games, but it'll be way better. You get mods. It's everything about PlayStation games or PC are 1,000% better than PlayStation 5 versions. And all the Donkey Unicorns and the ponies know this. And that's why they're online and on Twitter crying, trying to deflate and deflect like, oh, if Xbox would do better, then Sony wouldn't be acting like this. I'm like, well, that was Puerto Rock. I'm like, how you blaming Xbox for what Sony's doing in their business? That doesn't make any sense. Cause and effect? I don't think so. Sony's on their own. Sony think they're Nintendo right now. They think they can do whatever they want. And it's okay. I mean, they're going to find out that they're going to lose sales. I mean, being the market leader is fine and everything, but there's only so much you can do before the tables turn. EA knew that. EA saw that. They were making billions of dollars on FIFA and Madden and all this stuff. And then that one year, I guess Battlefront 2, whatever, and everybody was like, yeah, EA sucks, blah, blah, blah. And then they had a couple of stinkers. Mass Effect and Andromeda was kind of whack, blah, 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 blah. That happened. And now EA is like, whatever. They're not where they used to be. And I feel the same thing's gonna happen to Sony. They just keep doing the wrong things. And see what's happening now, right? They keep doing the wrong things. So they're training us as the public to expect the worst, right? So I guess it's back and forth. So it's kind of a, you know, one shoe, another shoe. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's like, okay, well, if they do something bad or not so bad, it'll be like, oh, that's not as bad as when they did right? So it's kind of that, right? Or they're gonna get to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm fed up, I'm out. And then the expectation will be they're gonna do something bad, and when they do something good, the expectation will be, oh, but you know, the next thing they're gonna do is bad probably. This is what's happening. The reputation of Sony is becoming tainted. I mean, it's been tainted for a while for me since PS3 era. I was like, okay, these fools. And like I said in another video, Sony never really had competition like what they're dealing with right now. They've never had competition. They had competition with Nintendo when they were in the handheld market with the PSP and the PS Vita and the PS Go. And how did that turn out? They lost that competition, okay? So if you want to conflate or compare, you can say, well, since they lost that competition, they tried. They really did try. I ain't gonna say they didn't, but they tried and they failed. They lost. Okay, Sony lost versus Nintendo. Boom, right? So now we're talking about regular, console generation consoles, but Microsoft changed the game. It's not about hardware anymore. And right now, Sony's losing that battle because they're still stuck on hardware. So if you want to compare and contrast, like I said, they could very well lose the console market because the console market is disappearing. It's not about consoles, it's about users. Think about it this way. I got Disney Plus. I don't have a Disney Plus box. Why? Because it's irrelevant. I got a TV that has Disney Plus. That's the whole play. Sony doesn't get it. They still trying to sell big doofy boxes. Microsoft is like, yeah, we'll make them too, but I mean, that's not what's all about Game Pass. I mean, I'm repeating stuff, at this point. But I know, I have to believe that Sony knows that this is the future. My thing is, why don't they acknowledge it? Or why don't they, I know why. I'm sorry, I just answered my own questions. Because they can't do it without somebody else's help. They can't do it alone. They can't say, yo, we got the Sony, we got the Pony Cloud, we got the Clop Cloud, the Clop Cloud service ready. Sign up for Clop Cloud, and we stream all the stuff. I said this in another video. They have to, if they want to do what Microsoft is doing, which they can't, they would have to build their own cloud infrastructure, make it as big as Azure, and they will be straight. Then they would be like, oh, then they can offer their own, all-in-one streaming service for movies, games, and all that stuff. They are in the position to have basically more content than Microsoft because they literally have more content than Microsoft. But they are not putting it in an attractive enough package for us, for Joe Consumer, to ingest, to accept. They're not doing that. They got Crunchyroll here, they got Funimation here, they got all these things separate. Well, I think they actually combined their anime stuff, so that's one okay thing. But still, they could be doing so much more, and they're not because there are hurdles. And they would have to pay someone else's cloud infrastructure. They would have to pay the bill for the cloud because they don't have a cloud. They have to use somebody else's cloud. And that's one of the main hurdles for their business. Their business would grow 29 million fold. They could be a $1 trillion company if they tried. But right now it's not in their, it's out of their reach because they don't have the capital to do it. If you think about how much Sony's worth now, right? And how much Microsoft was worth, I think it's 500 billion. Let's just say 500 billion, that's what Sony's worth, right? When was Microsoft worth 500 billion? Was that 10, 15 years ago maybe? Probably, more than that, right? They've been a $1 trillion company for at least 10 years, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong on that, but so it takes time, and Sony is not, they're not interested in taking the time to build a corporation to that level. And I don't really know what it is. It is something about the culture of the company, which stems back to the culture of where the company is from, Japan, and the xenophobia that exists within many Japanese people, the Japanese culture in general, and, you know, without saying it, Japanese companies, you know. So I can understand it. That makes sense because, you know, the people in charge of Sony in Japan, Sony Japan, they're old guys. They're not like, oh, there's a new generation in there and they're gonna change and shake stuff up. That's not how, you know, the old guard is still there from 20, 30, 40 years ago. Maybe not that long, but, and so they still have those ideals and they still have those kind of muscle memory ways of doing business. And once again, the xenophobia does take into account, like, they don't want to seem like, oh, we're gonna copy Microsoft. That's the last thing they want to do, is copy an American company or try to do what an American company is doing. They want to do their own thing by their own principles or whatever. And is that smart? I mean, I don't think that's smart in any sense. Like, why would you do what's good for your business, not what you don't want to do because you hate America or you hate a certain company, you hate the Western world, whatever the case is. It's about business, you know, and Jim Ryan knows that. And he's good at that, but he's also bad at customer relations and just making the customer feel like they are important, or because what Jim Ryan does is he says, oh, we're gonna make some really cool stuff, cool content, and that's all that matters. Everything else, it doesn't matter. As long as we make cool content, they'll keep coming. That's basically what they're doing. That's basically how they work it. And they're gonna, you know, they say the words that they need to say in any specific situation to try to get out of trouble, or to try to stay out of trouble, or to try to not be in as much trouble as they are. You know, like, oh, we raised the price because of the global conditions and the economies, and freaking the price of the yen is really bad. And I'm like, okay, some of those things are true. Most of those things are true. But raising the price for your customers is not a good thing either. So when you do that, when you raise the price of your product, the customers don't care about the economic, because guess what? We as customers are going through the economic crisis as well. You as $100 billion corporation should be able to suck up a couple of dollars here and there if you want to keep the good faith of your customer base. But you don't care. All you care about is the bottom line, and it's a parent. It's a parent. It's not a guardian of legal. It's just a parent. And, you know, that's what's happening, and the attitude of Sony is continuing to kind of bleed into all aspects of their operations, whether it's sending out damaged goods and not caring about making it right for the customers. Now maybe they put up a story today where they say, yeah, we're gonna you know, accept the messed up boxes and da 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 da. Maybe they did that already, and I'm just talking out my booty hole. But as I know, I didn't see anything about that, so whatever. And what'll happen is, this is what they do a lot. You know, this whole story, everybody's complaining online or whatever. They don't say anything. They're not gonna say anything until something else drops. People get distracted. On to the next story. So, you know, I'm gonna have to start making a list of all the bad stuff because there's so many things. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a special editorial. I don't know. Whatever. Not documentary, but you know what I'm saying. Man, I never thought I would see Sony go this far bad, but you know, whatever's clever, yo. But anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out. This is my dumb ass showing up and all that good stuff. Like, subscribe. And remember, keep going into the comments, because like I said, I read them every day, every way. It may take me a couple of days to come back at you and stuff, but you know, believe me, I like everyone, even if they're talking shite, even if they're like, you're stupid SG, stupid Xbot, get out of my face with your green face. I'm like, okay, thanks for taking out the time. I mean, because honestly, for real, even if you're a troll and even if you're, you know, making fun, I would hope that it's all in jest, because, you know, this video games, this ain't all serious. But you know, you could listen. You tell your opinion. If you're on the blue side, you know, you clop up in here and you say, hey, this is what I feel. You know, a lot of people have all the systems, so it's all good too. You know, I like to hear all of the opinions, because at the end of the day, this is all video games, right? and this is what we love, and we don't want the industry to buckle and get destroyed or to change in a way that'll affect our enjoyment. So that's the main thing, and that's why I'm always on Sony right now, because they're kind of messing up the industry a little bit. I mean, luckily there's companies like Microsoft and others that are out there that are doing the things that are equalizing the industry and not like keeping it all. Like, if it was up to Sony, man, it would be crazy. It would be really rough. So, you know, that's what's up. But until the next time, I guess that's about it for now. To the way.